Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I am going to be ranting about how awful Terminal Attack is and how much of a bad decision it was to make this the ranked game mode. It's actually unbelievable how bad this is. And I made a video about this before, kind of ranting about it before it was actually out. And a lot of people were saying, oh, no, you should wait until it's out. I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure everything will be rebalanced. I'm sure it'll be fine. And it's not fine. It sucks. And, you know, most of the community thinks it sucks as well, because it does. So yeah, we're just going to be talking about this a little bit. The first thing that comes to my attention is when a new player enters Season 3 for the first time, if they've never played the finals before, the first game mode that they're thrown into to play is Terminal Attack. So they load into Terminal Attack, they don't know what they're doing, they have to wait 20 seconds in that small little area, and they don't have anything to do within that 20 seconds. So, you know, this game in the past has been marketed as like a really fun, you know, action-y, lots of destruction stuff everywhere. They go into this game mode, first thing they get to do, wait 20 seconds. That doesn't sound very action-y, it doesn't sound very destructive, right? Then, secondly, you have a limited number of grenades and stuff like that. So, you know, again, max destruction and all that with frag grenades, breach charges, thermal bores, everything blowing up everywhere. There's none of that because you only have one of each thing or two of each thing in each round. So that's also not there either. So it's kind of like the whole idea of how this is being marketed is not showing itself at all in this game mode, which is what new players are going to be playing. It's the game mode that new players are given to play when they start it for the first time, right? So that's not great. Secondly, if they're playing on their own, which a lot of people are, it's a 5v5 game mode, right? And there's not really much carry potential. In a game like Rainbow Six Siege, there is a lot of carry potential because people die in like one headshot, so you can just, if you get 5 headshots, you kill the entire enemy team and then you win the match, right? There's a lot of, you know, ability to solo carry in Rainbow Six Siege, and that's really not going to be there in this game mode. Like, in this game mode, you can try in 1v5, but it's definitely just not going to go that well for you unless the enemies absolutely suck, right? So that's also another thing. If you're solo queuing, you're going to have a much rougher time being able to make impactful plays in this game mode than you would in the other game mode that was there before, like in Season 1 and Season 2, which was the ranked cash out mode. So that's just the first couple of things there. The new player experience isn't very good, and yet this is the game mode that they're given to play, and that just doesn't really make much sense to me. Next thing I want to talk about is Medium is absolutely useless in this game mode. The only thing they've got going for them is the Guardian turret. That's it. That's the only thing they have, and it's really not that fantastic. They don't have defibs, they don't have healing beam, and I mean, you can use zipline and jump pad, but since you only have one use of everything, there's really not going to be much point whatsoever. So you can play Medium if you like the Guardian turret, fair enough, but it's really not that good, right? So you're just going to be playing Heavy. And Light kind of, well, Light's a little bit weird in this game mode. We'll probably get to that later. But Mediums are just like a much worse version of Heavy in this game mode. Because, again, you can't have defib, you can't have zipline, you can't have jump pad, and that's their, like, 3 special things. They're 3 unique things, right? There's more, but that's the main 3. So you'd probably be going in with like frag grenades, pyro grenades, gas grenades, so you can just play Heavy for that. You know, why would you play Medium with 250 HP if you can play Heavy that has 350? Why would you deliberately lose an extra 100 HP for absolutely no reason, right? So the Medium just absolutely sucks in this game mode. And before, the meta was always Heavy. Heavy was very strong, but like Heavy and 2 mediums, or 2 heavies and a medium, or even 3 mediums and 3 heavies, all of those were super strong from the betas until Season 2. And the Light always just kind of sucked. And now, the medium is really not that great at all, and the Heavy is just the go-to for this ranked game mode. Now, Lights are weird, because they're kind of, they can be useful in this game mode. However, if someone gets you with like a random frag grenade or a random pyro grenade or just a random RPG, if someone gets like a lucky throw on you, you're just gonna die as a Light. The reason Light isn't going to be great in this game mode is because there are so many areas where enemies can just pop out from. It's not a small map, right? All the maps are big, there's lots of areas for enemies to come out of, and because the audio kind of sucks in this game, you can't hear where people are coming from, so it's impossible to be alerted to where all 5 of the other enemies are going to be. So as a light, you can just get insta-killed without having time to react to the enemies, especially if you're low already. So that's it, then you just die and then you're out for that round and you didn't contribute anything to the team because someone came out from nowhere, you didn't see them, you didn't have any idea they were going to come there, you didn't know to look that they were going to come from there, and now you're just dead. Right, so that's why I think Heavy is going to be the best, because if you get shot, you do have time to react, and even if you're low, you're probably going to have, like, Dome Shield or Barricades or something to fortify up a little bit. So I think Light can be good in this game mode, but I honestly, genuinely think there's a lot of luck involved in this game mode. Like, if you get caught just in a place where it's okay to be, sometimes you might just end up getting shot anyway, and then you're dead, and now you can't, now it's like a 4v5, right? So I think Light kind of sucks in this game mode. It's going to be completely impossible to dodge every single bullet and know where every single person is going to come from every single minute in all of the matches. That's not going to happen unless you're using wall hacks, right? And for that reason, I think Light isn't going to be as good. Even if you have evasive dash and you've got a really, really fast reaction speed, if someone headshots you with a revolver, you're going to be like one shot, right? So it's really not going to be that ideal to play Light. So the point I'm getting to here is the meta went from, you know, being heavy and medium, and you can play Light if you're really, really, really good. That's how it was from the betas in Season 2. And now, it's just heavy. Like, medium meta is completely gone. Light, you can play Light if you're really, really good. You might be able to make it work, but I think because it's 5v5, you're gonna have a really rough time staying alive as Light. So for that reason, I'm pretty sure Heavy is just going to be the meta. Like, there's going to be one class that doesn't feel really bad to play in this game mode. That's how I'm viewing it so far. So, yeah, there's just a lot to unpack here, really. Also, when a new player comes into the game for the first time, I said already that they're put into terminal attack, right? And once they play terminal attack, they're gonna be like, oh, there's a ranked mode of this that I can unlock now. I guess I'll play that because that gives me something to grind for. And then they're given like the exact same poor experience, right? And that's not very good. No new player is going to look at World Tour and be like, oh, I can get a very small amount of multi-bucks for doing this thing that kind of looks pretty complicated. Like, if you go into the World Tour section, the UI doesn't make it like very, very clear what it is. So a new player is going to look at that and be like, oh, I don't really know what that is. I get some multi-bucks, but I don't really know how it works. I don't know if I'll get this done in 2 weeks and all that kind of stuff. So they're just going to play Terminal Attack Ranked, or just Casual. If they play Casual, there's nothing to grind for, unless, you know, they're just having a fun time and all that. But the thing that bugs me is the whole point of making Terminal Attack the Ranked mode for Season 3, which is a really awful decision, is so that players that play CSGO and Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch and all of these other games come to the finals and are like, oh, it's this game mode, I understand how this works. But that's not why people play the finals. That's not what I played the finals. That's not what drew my attention to the game when it came out in the betas. If the finals released as is today, no one would play it. And that's because Terminal Attack isn't what you're here for. You're here for cash out. You're here for the destruction, for, you know, the team respawns, the team spawn coins, all that kind of stuff. You don't want to die and then be out for the entire game and wait for really, really long cooldowns and then go on your phone, go on Twitter or Facebook or Reddit or whatever, and just browse the internet until the timer's up and then you're alive again, just to die straight away and repeat the entire process. There are plenty of other games that do that. There are people that like it because it's punishing and all that. The finals isn't one of those games. It's not made to be one of those games. The time to kill itself is a fantastic example of that. It's just not supposed to be that. But what I was going to say is they made Terminal Attack the game mode so that players would feel familiar with it, and it just sucks. It's just a bad game mode, so people play it, and then they're like, oh, it's Terminal Attack. Yeah, I have that over at Rainbow Six Siege. I have that over at CSGO, and they're much more balanced, so why would I stick to the finals? There isn't really a whole lot of destruction because, again, you only have limited uses with all of your gadgets, so why would you play this? They're like, and in CSGO as well, when you're starting the game and when you if you're attacking, you use the robots to look at the area and scout everything out, which is cool. And if you're defending, you can actually fortify walls and put your gadgets down and all that kind of stuff. So there is a wait time in Rainbow Six Siege as well, but there's something to do. In the finals, you literally have to sit in a cage for about 20 seconds before you're able to go to a cash out. And you don't know which one of the cash outs you're supposed to go to. I know the enemies don't know where you're going to go, but yeah, it's just really not great. So the point I'm trying to make here is people that play CSGO and play Rainbow Six Siege and play Overwatch, if they see the finals and are like, oh, I'll try that out, there's nothing is going to keep them here. It's certainly not going to be this game mode, because their game mode that they normally play, whether it's Rainbow Six or Overwatch or whatever, that game mode is going to be more balanced, and they're going to automatically be more familiar with it. The finals isn't going to be offering anything new here. They're not going to play Terminal Attack and be like, oh my god, this is absolutely amazing. I can't believe I've been playing the other game the whole time. This is definitely the new game that I'm going to play. No one's going to say that, because that would be absolutely mental, right? This is like a really, really poor version of the game mode that other games have. And that's my problem with it. My problem with it is that it was put out, it was made so that people would feel more familiar with it, but it just sucks. It's not very well balanced, and it simply doesn't work for this game. And it's just not very good that it's both A, the game mode that new players play when they play Season 3 of the finals, and also B, the ranked game mode. It just doesn't sit very well. So what's going to happen, what I'm like highly, highly expecting to happen here, is this season is going to reach its like lowest player count ever in a pretty short amount of time. I would be extraordinarily surprised if that didn't happen. Another thing I'm going to mention is marketing has been happening for the game. I know Shroud has been playing the finals recently. I don't know if he's just playing it because he wants to, or because he was paid to, or what's the story there. But there is a Twitch Rivals thing coming, so marketing has finally started happening with the game, and I think that's a really, 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 really awful decision. The reason for that is because the game's in a really bad state right now. No one likes Terminal Attack. There isn't a single, well, maybe someone likes it, but most people don't like Terminal Attack. It's just not a good game mode, especially for ranked. Like in casual, whatever, but in ranked, it just doesn't work as a game mode. It's not very good at all. I just want to quickly touch again on the solo carry potential. So before it was 3v3. When something has a smaller amount of teams, there is going to be more carry potential than there would be in a larger team. That's why, you know, Overwatch kind of switched from 5v5 to 4v4 when Overwatch 2 was released. And now that the finals has gone from 3v3 to 5v5, there is much less solo carry potential. Unless you have like an all-rounded pretty good team, you're probably going to lose. If you're absolutely amazing at the game, but your teammates, you know, don't know the controls, you're not going to win. That's how this is going to work. But if it were still 3v3, and you were absolutely amazing and your teammates didn't know the controls, you had like a decent shot at winning that game, right? So there's much, much less solo carry potential now. And again, in other games that kind of have this game mode, the time to kill is much, much faster, so you can still carry in those game modes because, you know, one headshot, one person dead, you can wipe 5 people with 5 headshots, and then you just win the match, right? But that's not how this game mode works. This game has pretty high time to kills, and if you're playing light, you have very, very small amount of HP, right? So it's just not gonna work out that way. I kind of touched on it already, but the wait times. So the wait time when you load into the game, the wait time when you die, and also the wait time for the rounds to swap. Like it's swapping here. It doesn't take a super long time, but it does take a good few seconds in between each round. So depending on when you die, you're going to spend more time here browsing the internet and all that kind of stuff than you would playing the game. And unlike in Rainbow Six Siege or CSGO or whatever, when you die on that, it's probably your fault, because you probably didn't have the map knowledge, you probably peeked a corner you shouldn't have, you probably, you know, like, didn't headshot the enemy before they headshot you, and all that kind of stuff. In the finals, sometimes it just feels really, really unfortunate when you die. Sometimes it feels like it wasn't really your fault, because the map is so big. There's so many areas people can come out from, especially with evasive dash and grappling hook and all that kind of stuff. And again, the audio sucks, so you get absolutely no notification of where someone is going to just randomly start shooting you from. And that's just really not a good thing for this type of game mode at all. I would also like to say, I'm aware that a lot of people didn't like ranked cash out because it did go on for quite some time, but I would say ranked terminal feels like it goes on for a lot longer. I know the games aren't as long, but they really, really do feel like they go on for a whole lot longer than cash out games do, even though cash out games, ranked cash out games, were actually a lot longer. So that's just another thing I want to throw out there. It feels like you're doing less in this game mode, or it feels like there's kind of more downtime in this game mode than it does in cash out. It kind of feels like it drags on for longer sometimes. One positive thing I will mention is the game finally has an elo system, which is something that should have been implemented a very long time ago, but the game does finally have an elo system, so when you play against the other team, it shows you your FP, it shows you your placement games, it shows all of that stuff, which the players have been asking for a very long time. It's how the ranked always should have been, but before it was more like a progression system, and now it does actually have a ranked. So I just kind of find it a little bit interesting, but also quite bad, that now is the time that the developers have decided to, you know, fix the elo, fix the placement matches, fix being able to see your FP, also fix the what was it? Like, actually give the game some marketing. It's funny to me that they've decided to do all of that now, when I think the game is honestly in the worst state it's ever been in since the betas. Like, even in the betas, you had a solid ranked mode, right? And you had the progression system in it, so you could rank up fairly easily. That was the same for Season 1 and Season 2. It was more of a progression system than actually rank system, but like, it felt good to play. It felt fun. Lots of stuff to blow up, lots of classes to try out, lots of weapons, all that. And, like, Season 3 just doesn't feel good, because Terminal Attack is the ranked game mode. I think a lot of people are going to be playing it less. I honestly don't know how much Terminal Attack I'm going to be able to bear. I'm probably going to find myself playing the World Tour, or just regular cash out. I really genuinely don't think I can be bothered trying to get to Diamond. I've done it in every season since the betas, but I really don't think I can muster up the patience to do that, honestly. I don't think it's going to be a very fun experience for me. So one last thing I want to say is, you could have just put Power Shift in as the ranked game mode. I would much prefer to play against a 5-stacking team, all with APS turrets and healing beams and defibrillators on Power Shift, than I would play Terminal Attack. That's how much Embark has messed up here. And again, I don't know if it's Embark doing this, or if it's Nexon that's kind of nudging them to do it a little bit. But whoever's idea it was, they really should be fired. It's an absolutely awful decision. I don't think it's going to get reverted this season, and that's why I'm saying I think we're probably going to experience extremely low player counts this season. I know there's like a large influx of players right now, but, you know, that's because it's a free game and it's a new season, so lots of old players are returning back to try out the new season, and lots of newer players, because of the marketing and all that kind of stuff, are just trying out the game for the first time as well. But nothing's going to keep them here. I don't think anyone new is going to try and grind to Ruby, because I think they're just going to play their own game instead. And I don't think anyone's going to stick around for, you know, just casual game modes or the World Tour. I don't think just having multi-bucks is enough to get people to grind for the World Tour game mode. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, have a little rant about everything again. And by the way, just to, you know, clear the air about this, I know I said I quit in a thumbnail, but it was just a thumbnail, right? That's all that was. So just to say that as well. But yeah, I mean, I hope the game lasts this season. I really hope it does. But the thing with gamers sometimes is they'll give something a chance, but then they won't come back to it. So I don't know. I really hope Season 4 is better. I am still going to be making videos, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the player count dropped real low this season. And I don't think anything is going to get changed. I don't think terminal attack is going to get reverted or anything like that. So I'm just going to hope that Season 4 is going to have much bigger things planned. I'll say a couple of positive things, though. Kyoto's the best map so far. Kyoto is a very, 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 very good map, and the bow feels very, very, very good. That's a couple of positive things I will say. But yeah, there you go. I think I've probably said enough now. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.